Good evening to all of you. So today we are going to discuss revision Viva preparation class of MEd practical paper 2. Okay, guys. So tomorrow your paper is scheduled. Okay, so we will do the revisions and Viva preparation class, right? So first, you know that we have the 4 practicals in our practical exam. Already you know that there are 4 practicals: verbal intelligence test, non-verbal intelligence test, personality inventory test, and mental health test. And one more is creativity test. But out of a 5 test, we have to perform 4 tests for our tomorrow's practical. And already you have performed that. Today we are discussing, right? Once again, we are doing the revisions, okay, so that you would be prepared for your tomorrow's exam. Right, guys? So first of all, we discuss about what are these tests? What is the meaning of test? What is the meaning of scale, questionnaire, tool, research instrument? So guys, these all are the same word. Don't get confused, first of all, right? Okay, it is a very, common whenever we have to, assess the behavior of the person. So, there is a need of a tool, there is a need of a questionnaire. We want to check the behavior of our student. There is a checklist, right? So these are called test, questionnaire, or sometimes we say that, it is a research instrument and others, guys. Okay, these all are, synonym. Okay, you can call as a scale, test, questionnaire, and tools. In fact, a research instrument also, right? But actually, what is the definition of these? Definition of these all that to get the information from the respondent. Okay, suppose there is a one mobile company. Okay, he wants to take the feedback of particular mobile. So what he does, he makes a questionnaire, list of a questionnaire, then get the data from the client, so that he will come to know that what is the requirement of the client. Similarly, these are educational tests, educational questionnaire, tools that are used to for the improvement of the student, right? So in our syllabus, there are 4 tests: verbal intelligence test, non-verbal intelligence test, personality inventory, or mental health test. Right, guys? You already have performed. Okay, today we are doing the revision. So for a verbal intelligence test, we have used which tool, which instrument? We have used the Alfred Binet, right? Binet test we have used. Stanford-Alfred-Binet test. Okay, this is a verbal intelligence test. Okay, you have to remember. Alfred Binet test. He's a psychologist. He gave the first intelligence test in the year of 1905, right? French psychologist. So for a verbal intelligence test, we have used standardized test given by the, developed by the, designed by the Alfred Binet, right? Second, non-verbal intelligence test. For the non-verbal intelligence test, we have used the standardized test given by the Gardner multiple intelligence test. You know that na, in your B.Ed syllabus, there is a one theory, Gardner theory of intelligence, right? Under a Gardner theory of intelligence, there are 8 types of intelligence, right? So we have used to check the non-verbal intelligence of the student. We have used the Gardner multiple intelligence test, right, guys? Number 3rd, to assess the personality of the student, to check the personality, to observe the, assess the personality of the student, we have used the Isenic personality inventory. Okay, it is again a standardized test, standardized tool, standardized research instrument, standardized questionnaire, any of name you can call it, right? And for a mental health test, we have used the Sinha anxiety comprehensive test. Sinha and Sinha comprehensive anxiety test, right? SCAT, right, guys? So we have already done. So we discuss one by one. Okay, what is a verbal intelligence test? As it is our revision class, exam preparations class. Okay, because our practical exam is scheduled tomorrow. So first we talk about the verbal intelligence test. Okay, to check the verbal intelligence of the student, we use the Alfred-Binet intelligence scale. So Alfred-Binet, that he was a French psychologist, okay, who invented the first practical IQ test. Sometimes it is called the Binet-Simon test. It is written a Binet-Simon test. Okay, Simon, he was his associated. You can say that companion, friend. Okay, along with that, he developed this test, right? So the Stanford-Binet intelligence scale is a standardized test that assesses intelligence and cognitive abilities in children beginning at the age of 2 and in adult, right? So basically, for which purpose this test is used? Alfred-Binet intelligence scale or Stanford-Binet intelligence scale. Stanford means it is a University of Stanford, okay, right? So this test is developed by the Alfred-Binet that is used to assess the intelligence and cognitive ability of the children, right? Beginning at the age of a 2 and adult also. We can use this test on the adult also, okay? But we have used on the, smaller classes like 6th, 7th classes, huh? So what is the purpose of a test, right, guys? So these are, 4 tests in your exam. So you should know each and everything of your test, which you have already performed. Okay. Examiner can ask any of the question, right? So what is the purpose of a test of a Alfred-Binet test, verbal intelligence test? So you have to say, so this test is used for the learning disability, development delay, or tracking the intellectual development, right? Sometime now what happens in a class, teacher is teaching, okay, but many of the students, they are understanding the lecture, but some are not. So by the help of a test, we can access that, we can come to know that, okay, whether the student has learning disability or not, right? Whether the student has development delay or not. There is a problem of intellectual
So your
development.
voice is not audible.
So my voice is not audible. So I think it is it audible to other person?
So now it
Yes,
is
sir.
audible.
It's clear.
Yes, it is fine.
Okay, right. So you have to tell what is the purpose of this test. So this test is to know the learning disability of the student. Actually, what happens, students, you have seen, many of the cases. For example, okay, you got appointment in any of the school, huh? What happens? You are teaching to the class of 5th or 6th, huh? Na? There is a sometime there is a weak student comes on the 5th class. Again, he promotes into the 6th class and 7th class. So teacher is teaching in the class, but actually, what is the problem of the student now? We have to find out. हो सकता है, it can be the learning disability of the student, है ना, development delay of the student. So if such kind of a problem the student has, so we have to take extra time to the student, right? So for these purpose, these tests are designed, right? So Stanford Alfred-Binet test, intelligence test, it checks the intelligence across the 6 areas. You should know that: general intelligence, knowledge, fluid reasoning, quantitative reasoning, visual spatial processing, and working memory. Right, guys? So in your notes, you can see that you have to prepare this also. Examiner can ask, what is the purpose of that test, right? Okay, we move to the second test. The second test is Gardner multiple intelligence test. Basically, the name of practical is non-verbal intelligence test, right? You should know that. The first practical is a verbal intelligence test. Second is non-verbal intelligence test. Third is personality inventory. And fourth is mental health test. Okay. For a verbal intelligence test, we have used the Alfred-Binet intelligence scale. For non-verbal intelligence test, we have used the Gardner multiple intelligence test. And number third, personality inventory test, we have used the, in the coming slide we will do, we have used the test given by the ICENIC. And number 4, mental health, we have used the Sinha and Sinha test. Okay. So guys, Gardner multiple intelligence test, you already know that. Okay, in a B.Ed we have done this theory also. Now Gardner multiple intelligence, it consisted of the 8 intelligence. He was the person, in the Spearman intelligence test. Now what the Spearman has said, that Spearman has said intelligence consists of two factor. One is G factor and one is S factor. If you remember, the intelligence of a person is dependent upon the two factors set by the Spearman. One is G factor and one is S factor. Okay, but again Gardner said that there is a lot of intelligence in a person's. He has given the A type of a intelligence. Okay, for example, numerical intelligence. If the person has the numerical intelligence, he will be good in numerical abilities, right? If the person has the musical intelligence, okay, he can move his body very well, he can dance well, right? Spatial intelligence, reasoning intelligence, intrapersonal intelligence, interpersonal intelligence. Okay, but Gardner wants to say that if the person has the numerical intelligence, it does not mean that if he works on all other intelligence, he can also improve that, right? So you have to remember, based upon the 8 type of intelligence which was given by the Gardner, Gardner conducted the non-verbal intelligence of the student. Okay, so first we come to know that Gardner multiple intelligence test says that Howard Gardner, a psychologist, first developed the theory of multiple intelligence in 1983. He first published this theory in his book, Frames of Mind, right? So what is the importance of a non-verbal intelligence? Okay, first of all, we should know that examiner can ask, okay, the one question comes from this, for non-verbal intelligence test, which test you have used. Okay, he can also ask, you can note down on your notebook also, guys. He can also ask that what is the importance of a non-verbal intelligence. So you have to say non-verbal intelligence is the ability to analyze information and solve problems using visual or hands-on reasoning, right? In other words, it is the ability to make sense of and act on the world without necessarily using words, right? So for example, I'm giving you the lecture, right? So I'm using the verbal as well as non-verbal. My gesture are using hana, each and everything. This is the non-verbal things also, right? So what is the importance of a non-verbal? These are a type of a multiple intelligence. Okay, there is no need to learn in detail. You can learn all the a types. Okay, these are very simple. A types of a multiple intelligence: visual intelligence, verbal intelligence, mathematical intelligence, bodily kinesthetic intelligence, musical intelligence, intrapersonal, interpersonal, or naturalist, right? It is already very simple, Hana. We have discussed many times. So we move to the what are non-verbal skills, Hana. We have discussed that what are the non-verbal skills. Okay, again we discussed what are the importance of non-verbal intelligence. Okay, in schools, non-verbal intelligence enables students to analyze and solve complex problems without relying upon or being limited by language abilities, right? For example, one is good in the English, one is good in communications level. Okay, if he doesn't good in the this language abilities, but he has the non-verbal intelligence, even he can solve many of things, that, right? Many mathematical concepts, physics problems, computer science tasks, and science problems required strong reasoning skills, right? So in last, non-verbal intelligence allow us to think through, plan for, and implement project. We also use non-verbal intelligence to organize and manage our time and our belongings, right? So verbal as well as non-verbal, both type of a intelligence, it is necessary, right? So the number third is, the third practical is personality inventory, right? So personality inventory, first of all, we should know that for a personality inventory test, we have used the standardized scale, which was given by the ICENIC, right? ICENIC personality inventory. So it is a number of a questionnaire. It is a questionnaire. Na? You have the questions. You have the questionnaire. Na? At end of the, conducting the practical, you have put that. Na? So ICENIC personality inventory is a questionnaire to assess the personality traits of a person. It was devised by the psychologist ICENIC and ICENIC. Hana? You can say that. Okay. The another person is also ICENIC. Okay. ICENIC personality inventory used for, it is a self-report instrument designed to measure two central dimensions of personality, extroversion and neuroticism. This instrument is comprised of 57 yes or no items and yields total scores for extraversion and neuroticism as well as a validity score. So guys, here one questions also come out. Okay, examiner can ask what are the dimensions of ICENIC personality inventory. So you should know that, right? The dimensions of given by the ICENIC, two dimension. One is extraversion and neuroticism. Means introversion and extraversion. Na? You know that some students are introvert, some students are extrovert, right? So from where, being of a teacher, we will come to know that if they are introvert, they are extrovert by the help of some test. So we have used this test, ICENIC test, right? And second is, he has also worked on neuroticism. Okay, we understand what is a neuroticism in the coming slide. So first we have to understand, in psychology, the ICENIC personality questionnaire is a questionnaire to assess the personality trait of the person. It was devised by ICENIC and ICENIC, already discussed. On the second, ICENIC theory is based primarily on physiology and genetics, right? So basically it is based upon the genetics. Although he was a behaviorist who considered learned habits of a great importance, he believed that personality differences are determined by genetic inheritance. He is therefore, that's why he has used the neuroticism, because he believes that personality differences are determined by the genetic inheritance. Suppose in your class now you have the 30 students class. Okay, so 30 students have the different personality. Basically these personality are due to the genetics, due to their parents, grandparents. Okay, because he has worked on the ICENIC, has worked on the neuroticism also. He has used this dimension, right? He is therefore primarily interested in temperament. In devising a temperament-based theory, ICENIC didn't exclude the possibility that some aspect of personality are learned, but left the consideration of those to other researchers. Okay. Last one is dimension. ICENIC initially conceptualized personality as two biological based independent dimension of temperament, E and N. E stand for extroversion, N stand for neuroticism, measured on continuum, but then extended this to include a third P. P is psychotism, right? So basically these three things, guys, you have to remember. Actually, what are the dimensions? Okay, when we develop the scale, we are using the scale given by the ICENIC. It consists of the 57 questions. Okay, but when there is a procedure of a scale construction, when we construct the scale, when we construct the tool, a questionnaire, so first of all we take some of the dimensions. Okay, so this is the meaning of a dimension. In all the 57 questions, when you read the question, you will come to know that these all 57 questions comes out of two dimension. One is introvert or extrovert dimension, या extroversions कह सकते हैं, extrovert up you can say, and second is neuroticism. But he has also worked on the third, which is called psychotism. Okay, So extraversion, neuroticism, and psychotism. What is the meaning of that? Okay, extroversion is characterized by being outgoing, talkative. है ना? The person is a more talkative. है ना? We say that he is extrovert. He is a lot of outgoing. We can say it is a extrovert. High on the positive effect, feeling good, and in need of a external stimulation. है ना? Whenever he gets the external stimulation, so he is more inclined to that. Neuroticism or emotionally is characterized by high levels of a negative effect, such as depression and anxiety. Okay, these things, Isenic has used that. Okay, from these things, personality differs because of the inheritance, right? Psychotism, yeah, socialization in a simple way. Psychotism is associated with aggression, psychotic behavior. If the person is a psychotic behavior, have the psychotic behavior is rooted in the characteristics of tough-mindedness, non-conformity, inconsideration, recklessness, hostility, anger, impulsiveness. Someone is a anger, impulsiveness, tough-mindedness, he is very rigid. This is called the psychotic behavior. So, what behavior? How this behavior has come in, among the students? This behavior has come due to the inheritance, because Isenic has done a lot of work of inheritance also, right, guys? So these three you have to remember also, right? Okay, so Isenic personality questionnaire, again we can learn it. It measures the three major dimensions of personality: extraversion, neuroticism, and psychotism. Psychotism ko in simple word it is called tough-mindedness, right? Okay, again the EPQ. EPQ means Isenic personality questionnaire, and R means revised. Okay, so guys, once they have developed the questionnaire, now so many times it has revised. For example, first verbal intelligence test now we are done. Hana, it was given by the Alfred Binet in the year of 1916, but many times he has revised. Okay, so we are using the current one. Okay, so EPQR is an excellent assessment tool to measure the personality domain. It is useful in numerous applications such as human resources, career counseling, clinical settings, and research. Okay, so this personality inventory test is used for the career counseling also, clinical settings also. Okay, and what are the features and advantages and for the application of this test? Number one, useful for adults. Okay, we can apply on the adult also, right? Norms are available for US adults. Takes approximately 20 to 35 minutes to complete. Scoring options: hand scoring with overlay keys, web based with immediate scoring. Okay, so you have to remember it is also useful for the adult also, right, guys? So next is the fourth and last is Sinha comprehensive anxiety test. Okay, the name of the practical is a mental health, but to check the mental health anxiety level of the students, we have to say we have used the Sinha comprehensive anxiety test. Okay, there is a lot of anxiety tests to check the anxiety of the person, hundreds of thousands of anxiety tests, right? But you have to use, I have conducted on my particular class, and I have used the Sinha and Sinha comprehensive anxiety test, right, guys? Examiner can ask from you, what is anxiety? You have to say anxiety is an emotional state closely related to fear, occurs when a person worries about what might happen in future. If we never know what will happen in the future, sometimes to anxiety comes, or when he is fearful about some vague or unknown things which he cannot explain. So this is a definition of anxiety. Sinha comprehensive anxiety test, it was developed in Sinha and Sinha. Okay, the full name is AKP Sinha and LNK Sinha. You can call Sinha and Sinha in 1995. Okay, for which purpose this test is used? You have to say this test is used for measure the level of anxiety. Okay, so anxiety is a negative troubling state in which feeling or uneasiness, panic, tension, stress take place. You know that. It is a harmful emotion and is generally accompanied by a high degree of arousal. Anxiety is currently a central explanatory concept in most theories of personality and psychopathology, and it is widely regarded as the principal cause of a such diverse behavior. So guys, in this mental health, it would be better now, if there is a no anxiety. So mental health would be improved. So for a mental health, we have used the Sinha and Zina anxiety test. And what is anxiety? We have already discussed. Right, guys? So we are done with the 4 practical, right? What you have to remember, okay, I have, arranged some of the questions, okay, out of, it has come out of, all the 4 tests, okay. At least you have to remember these questions, guys. Along with, I'm sharing you the one file, okay, one PDF file of 10 or 12 pages, right? You can read from there also, but mostly you have to learn from your practical files where you have implemented or conducted the test. Okay, so these questions can ask the examiner. For example, these are total 10 or 12 questions. Okay, so we discuss one by one questions along with the answer. You can note it. Okay, later on I will share this video with you, right? So first of all, name of 4 tests which you performed and name of the author, psychologist who developed these skills. So you can say that the 4 test is verbal intelligence test by the Alfred-Binet, non-verbal by the Gardner. Number 3rd is personality by the Eysenck, and 4th is anxiety test by the Sinha and Sinha. Right? Name bhi ho gaya, author name bhi ho gaya, jisne kiya tha. Okay, we are done. Next, application of a verbal intelligence test by the Alfred-Binet. So you have to tell the, what is the verbal intelligence test of application. On which class you performed. Tell me the class. Tell me the name of the student you performed. Okay, you can see from your file also, right, where you have performed. And explain the procedure how you have performed. Tell me the procedure how you have performed. Okay, for which method you have applied. Okay, you can say that I took the class. First of all, I requested to the principal, okay, to conduct a test on particular class. Principal gave me the 30 minutes for conducting the class. I went to the class, and I distributed all the questionnaire to all the 30 students, and I narrated the instructions. After the instruction, I said to students, you have the 30 minutes to fill the tick mark on these questions. So after filling I took the copy, and I coming back on the home, I interpreted the result based upon the standardized test. Okay. Number 3rd, how you administered and explained description and how you interpreted the score. Tell me the name of a subject and name of the school. Okay, so already discussed. You can tell that you have, if examiner asks, you can say that I have applied on this school. This is the name of the student. Number 4 is, what does the Stanford-Binet test measure? Simple, intelligence, verbal intelligence. Okay. Explain Gardner non-verbal intelligence test. So you can explain. We already discussed that. All the theories, from where it has come. It is an easy one. 6. What are the non-verbal skills we just discussed, and importance of non-verbal skill? Right? You can say that without the language ability, non-verbal skills that are used to solve many of the problems. Okay, many things. Explain in brief 8 types of intelligence given by Gardner. You can say, spatial Gardner's, numerical intelligence, musical intelligence, intrapersonal, interpersonal, naturalistic intelligence. These are all the 8. Explain Eysenck personality inventory. So you can say that, Eysenck personality inventory test. It is a standardized test given by Eysenck and Eysenck. It is used for assess the personality of the student. Right? What is the Eysenck personality inventory used for? To check the personality of the student. Right? It is also useful for the adult also. We have learned in the features of this. Explain dimensions of a Eysenck personality inventory. Okay, on 2 dimensions he has worked. One is extroversion, and second is neuroticism. Okay, again he opted the 3rd one after the you can say revised, है ना? When he revised his test, he has also included the third dimension, P. P means psychotism. Explain सब part of dimensions given by the Isonic. Okay, वो क्या क्या dimensions के parts है ना? You can go from the notes also, ना, which I'll share with you. And last question, what is a anxiety? And tell me the types of anxiety and why you performed Sinha and Sinha comprehensive anxiety test. Tell me the name of a other anxiety test. Okay, so he can arise the question also. There is a lot of 100 of anxiety tests now. Why you particular taken this Sinha and Sinha test? What should be your answer, right? So you have to say, my class is the 5th. So Sinha and Sinha class, it is an educational test. It is a anxiety level test. So it is useful for the small classes. That's why I opted this. Okay, you should have this answer, right? So along with these 10 or 12 questions, you have to read, mostly you have to read from your practical file where you have conducted the test. You should know each and everything of that, right guys? I hope everything has cleared. So best wishes for your tomorrow exam. Thank you so much guys.